All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth episode of AI Unplugged, where we explore the headlines shaping artificial intelligence and how they impact your business, your job, and even your health. Today, we're going to be diving into the cost of AI success, which is job cuts, broken promises to small businesses, and even turning to chatbots for our mental health. So joined with me as usual is the expert panel, Andre Reginald from ARK Solvers. We have Mike Pina with AI Rocketship, and I'm your host, Zeke Cuevas with Nuvotech Consulting. How's it going, guys? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes. How's it going?
Great. Good to see you all as usual. So today we have three big topics that are coming in hot off the press. So wanted to start with the first one. Let's dive right in. We have the Microsoft CEO memo for job cuts and AI success. So this comes directly to us from Business Insider. So in an internal memo that was leaked to Business Insider, Microsoft CEO explained recent job cuts as a consequence of the company's rapid AI growth. While the company celebrates record profits and major product wins in generative AI, the workforce is shrinking. This raises, of course, ethical and strategic concerns. Can AI success justify widespread displacement? Or does the pursuit of AI profitability inevitably lead to workforce downsizing? Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, I think this is what we all feared, right? That AI was going to take the jobs. And I'm sure for a multi-billion-dollar company like Microsoft, when they can see that things can be automated and you don't need as much people to do some of these tasks, this is exactly what's going to happen. So we all saw this coming, right? A lot of times people are like, oh no, AI is just to make the workforce more productive. But, when these bigger companies see that, it does trickle down. What I would have, and the thing is, it's like, Microsoft doesn't put out these memos and not think that someone's just going to take a picture of their screen and send it to a news media. But what would have been a very smart thing for Microsoft to do was to say, although we are letting go of X thousands of people, we are going to help with, retooling them, so to speak. Let's reskill them. Let's teach them maybe AI, maybe because Microsoft has so many different categories in their product line. Maybe they say, okay, we're going to lay these people off, but now let's teach them on Microsoft Copilot or another industry that they can possibly go into.
I think, and people may not like when I say what I'm going to say, but it's strategic. It's essential. It's them paving the way for their future. You got to look at it from the perspective of Microsoft. Okay, yes, multi-million, billion-dollar company. They got their hands in everything. All right. Most offices are still using Windows-based products, including with all the AI extra processes included on your devices, Copilot. I mean, you name it. Okay, you're already using it. They're doing a strategic move to be more efficient, to brace for the future of what's coming. Okay. Now, I like what you said about retooling people, an AI powered workforce, not necessarily an AI workforce. There is a difference. You still need people to manage the tools that are going to be implemented on your devices and in your workflows. You still need people to overlook things like ethical AI, bias, where's your data going? Because I know that's another hot button item on the list of things that we should probably cover. But in the whole spectrum of things, what they're doing is completely strategic. Now, from an ethical human being side, thinking of people's families in this inflation-driven economy, I think it's a horrible thing that they're doing. How many of these individuals who are working for Microsoft, okay, are relying on that paycheck and who are already living in debt from paycheck to paycheck, struggling with the cost of living, right? That is never balanced out by what most people earn. So I'm looking at it from both perspectives and I understand what they're doing. Do I agree with it? No, but I understand.
Yeah, just to add to that we are going to have a massive shift in the way people work overall. So we're gonna see this drop in like those kind of baseline jobs, like admin jobs,
Yes.
even some areas of the customer service and retail. So you're gonna see this all of that start to like disappear with AI. So you're right, Mike, that unfortunately people are going to be displaced, and they're gonna have to figure out different ways to generate value and to bring
Yes.
income. So what I think is going to happen is that once this like lower level like jobs and tasks becomes eliminated, the middle class or the middle managers, I should say, will start expanding because you're going to need more middle management to manage AI. AI won't manage itself.
Right.
And then eventually AI will get so good that it'll replace the middle managers and eventually replace the CEO as well. That's really where it's going. And so you're just going to have a board of directors that just manages the company via AI.
So you're predicting that companies will not have a physical person CEO and it's going to be an AI and taking direction from the board?
That's right. That's right. So if you look at there was this this company, it's called I think Conducting AI, and they went viral on TikTok because they showed kind of a strategy in Figma. And so what you see is a hierarchy of agents ranging from AI agents ranging from CEO that give instruction to lower level agents or middle managers, and then even lower level tasks. So we're talking about a full blown out architecture of AI agents. That's where it's going, guys.
It's intense what's happening. I keep reminding people, I mean, you see my posts, you see the things I've published, written about. It's not that I'm beating a dead horse, it's that I'm bringing you life support, and I'm echoing what the industry is doing. I'm telling you, retool, learn. But as a humanity, not as a nation, okay? I'm not even getting political here. As a humanity, if we don't learn these basic skills to make us more marketable, we are going to get left behind. Microsoft is one of many companies that is going to do organizational restructuring. This is already hitting retail. It's already hitting a lot of the repetitive services, secretarial jobs, like you said, the types of jobs, Zeke, that can be replaced, that are very repetitive, answering emails.
Tasks.
Heck, I mean, it's even in sales. How many times are we here on LinkedIn right now, and you get an AI powered outreach from a sales platform, and you can tell because it sounds very like inorganic. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Very robotic.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Even in my industry, as a my first hat that I wear in the morning is as a cybersecurity consultant and managed service provider, and the phone calls are less. When was the last time you had a blue screen of death? When was the last time your computer crashed or sad faced from from Apple? That's all AI. It's predicting that this may break soon and let us fix it before it happens, and that's all technology. So yeah, and that's why we all have to start pivoting now and seeing how we can get ahead of it.
Yeah, I think that there will be a shift to more critical analysis roles or jobs, and basically creativity, right? So let me explain that. So teachers are gonna the teaching landscape, how our children learn, will shift from AI will be taking care of like all the mathematics, for example. That will definitely go to AI, and that will be kind of like compartmentalized or partitioned. But teachers will shift to teaching critical analysis and creativity as humans. So you'll have some modules, I'm assuming, or some classes called human critical analysis. That will be a thing.
Wow.
And so those will start to separate, and we will eventually get to a point where there's just a partnership between AI and humans on all these roles, on all these educational roles. Mike, you probably already are doing this, right? Since you actually teach AI, but it will get to a segment and a point where that's that's how it works. It's just going forward, we are partnering and working side by side with AI.
Fascinating stuff that we're experiencing right now in this world. You know, the other thing from the educational standpoint, and I just got through two very challenging semesters, not so much because of the content or because of the individuals, but because of the cell phones. And anybody who teaches in academia, right? Or even in the medical field, like my wife, I know she teaches RNs for a specific health system, right? What I've noticed is that students are quick to run to the technology to find an answer, and they're missing out on the cognitive thinking part. So what I fear more than anything, Zeke and Andre, is that in the future, people won't be able to think for themselves. They have to jump
Right.
to an AI powered app platform to find out really basic information. And that's what scares me,
Yeah.
because yes, the tools will be there, but what happens in downtime? I mean, I've been in the ER when there's downtime, when the systems go down. We're back to paper and writing and taking notes, figuring out, okay. And you know, the most interesting thing part about it is most of the individuals that were ready for that were the seasoned nurses, the boomers, as they say, the
Mm.
ones that have been doing this for 15, 20, 25 plus years. The newer nurses who are used to technology struggled, but they picked up. And I don't want to see us as a humanity, again, talking to our listeners from a human perspective, that you get left behind, and that also at the same time you can't reason with basic stuff because you have to run to the cell phone.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. It's got to be a healthy balance.
I mean, the skills, the human skills will be challenged. That is 100% true. And as humans, we have to start to value our cognitive, our critical thinking, to value our creativity and find means where we are separate and unique from AI. Like I've always explained before, if you plug into ChatGPT, hey, I want a story of a cowboy,
Yeah,
but it only knows that because we already created that, right? And
interesting.
in the same sense, most of you know I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian, and I believe that is interconnected in the way that we are as image bearers of God. That God spoke things into existence, and so do we. We have the ability to create unique thoughts out of nowhere, right? AI can't do that, and I think that's where we
Not
need to focus on our growth.
Man, Zeke, I'm gonna have to pass the plate, man. That was good. He's taking the. So one thing as well, that we, one of the things is we now live in that microwave world, right? And especially our kids, right? I mean, my daughter, when she's downstairs and she's watching TV and she's on YouTube, they're not going on the mainstream videos. And my point with this is, even like tools like Microsoft Copilot, if I don't know if it's the free version, but I know for sure the paid version, when you're on a website, when you're on Edge and you're on a website and it's a long, paragraphs after paragraph, you hit that button there and it will summarize. You don't even need to read the entire page.
yes.
So that's another thing too. So, but I mean, I think this podcast is getting a little gloomy with all this, like how the world is gonna end. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
This is where it's going. So,
Well, it's real talk.
yeah, it's real talk, definitely.
I look at it like this, because yes, sometimes we have to be the bearer of bad news, but yes, so you also have to bring the good news. And I love how what you said, Zeke, about your walk and sharing your faith and how it guides your principles, because all that is seen in what you do daily. And I appreciate that. It's very brave of you. What I think is that each of us, not only as faith-driven entrepreneurs, but also as individuals who are right here at the front lines of what's happening with this technology, which can be so brutal in the wrong hands, but so amazing in the right hands with the right training and the right guidance, right? We have a lot of promise and hope. The business owner, the small business owner right here in Pembroke Pines, Miramar, Miami, Davie, Alapata, North Miami, Miami Gardens, all our communities, right, have everything to benefit from embracing this technology, learning it, understanding what to look out for, and don't get caught up in a scheme, because there's a lot of cheap, low-hanging fruit on social media saying, hey, buy my course, or check this out, this many prompts for 20 bucks. I see it. And us as educators, as people who are involved right on the front lines, we have an obligation to tell people what to look out for. Good news and bad news. And I don't like sugarcoating stuff when it comes to this, because I'll say it like this, and I'll be as blunt as possible, okay? It hurts me to hear when a business tells me I'm closing my doors. 7 years, 8 years later, we're closing for business. It hurts me profoundly, because I know as a mom and pop's business, right? You're depending on those sales. You're depending on it. Your kids, your family, where are you going to send your kids to college? How are you going to pay the mortgage? It's personal at that point. I don't deal with corporations, at least not yet. I deal with mom and pop's businesses who have everything to gain from learning AI, just like you guys do as well. And you've seen it. You have that aha moment when they're like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. With ChatGPT, I could write a business proposal in a different language in seconds. It fascinates me, and I love to see that, Zeke and Andre, when we have that opportunity to connect regular folks to what's happening in this very fast-paced, fast-driven world of artificial intelligence. So thank you for sharing
Awesome.
that.
Of course, of course. All right. So next up, we have the unfulfilled AI promise to small businesses. So check this out. Go ahead, Andre. You're gonna say something?
No, go for it. You
Oh,
can do
okay.
the intro. Yeah.
All right. So great. So we have the source here is fastcompany.com. So it basically says that despite the buzz, that many small businesses report that AI tools just have not delivered the value that was promised or the impact. So there's barriers like cost, complexity, lack of customization that has left many entrepreneurs disillusioned. And so experts warn that without better design solutions, AI could deepen the digital divide between large enterprises and small businesses. So, why are small businesses struggling to benefit from AI while large corporations thrive? What do you guys think?
Well, this is the very reason I think we are all, shifting our business model towards this, is because there's a lack of AI consultants. When you have a business owner see a nice shiny tool and it's only $25 a month per user, and it's claiming it can do all of these things, but then the business owner is trying to run their business. There's nobody there making sure that this is the right product to use prior. And then, okay, well, let's now help you integrate it, and then let's help train your staff. And then from there, we give you the platform to use, and then you guys go off there. But that's like, that's like dumping Adobe Photoshop and saying, hey, look at all the cool things Adobe Photoshop can do. And then now you get the subscription. Adobe Photoshop is literally going to look at you. If you don't have any prior training to it, you're not going to be able to figure it out, right? So I think that's one of the issues, especially on the small business side, is they don't have that fractional AI officer. They don't have someone guiding them, and that business owner is just buying what looks cool, and then they never use it. So they're experimenting and then disappointed, and then therefore this is why this article is saying what it's saying.
Yeah, and a major warning to be very cautious when you start seeing like all this kind of like advertising, all these ads showing up, AI this, AI that.
Yes.
A lot of it, I would say, man, at least like 90% of it is super gimmicky. And take it from somebody who's actually used these platforms. Now, I do know of several tools that are awesome, that have improved my efficiency, operations efficiency in different areas. But you just really need to speak to someone that can actually help you put these things together, field them, and put them in place so that you have success.
Business owners struggle constantly too with their time. Time is money. Time is short. As it is, if it's a privately owned business, they're already struggling with time to spend with their families. I go through this myself. You know, we're working long hours. Our weeks are not 40-hour weeks that you punch in and punch out. You're always on the clock. Always. You always have to watch your business, which is your baby. You're always wondering what's new, what's out in the world, and how can I continue to evolve. I fully agree with what you're saying, Zeke, that they need training, they need guidance to show them what are the tools. Not everything that glitters is gold. There's great resources for very cheap out there. And then there's great resources that are free. And then there's horrible resources that are free that you probably don't want to click on because they are lead magnets. I'm always of the perspective that free is great. In fact, when I consult with clients, I show them some of the free stuff, but I also inform them of what are the advantages of getting paid subscriptions. You get more. So if you're going to check out a training that you found online, I would probably ask you, do yourself a favor and just verify, the reputation. Are they credible? Is this a credible resource? Do they have some time in the industry? What was the person doing before they were training? You know, I look at that. Listen, I looked at your LinkedIn profiles. I do my research. I have agents helping me scrub data off the internet as well. And if I see the person was working a retail job 6 months ago, but then now they're AI experts, I'm going to question that. If you haven't gotten, not to shoot down work experience, okay? Let me be clear before everybody starts DMing me, sending me ugly messages. But I believe in the power of education, okay? If you have higher education, you've pursued a degree in business intelligence or informatics, something within the field, I value that. And that may help guide me as far as will I buy your course or enroll in your academy or decide to put my money elsewhere. We have to basically use common sense and be knowledgeable about where we're deciding to place A, our money, and B, our time. So there's also a common sense aspect. I try to cover that as much as possible with my clients when we do consults. And you guys, I'm sure, have had the same experience, especially Andre, that you're dealing with technology clients that have some very deep questions, and you have to expose them like what to look out for, right?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be in a time where there's going to be a lot of YouTube University teachers, right? They're going to
Oh boy.
say that they know what they're talking about, but at the same time, you can get a lot of good knowledge from these YouTube. Like if you wanted to know how to do a thumb, as simple as that. If you wanted to just know how to do a thumbnail and make it look nice, right? Do you have to pay a $200 course, or could you just watch someone's 30-minute video? They show you how to do it on the Canva, and then now you're good to go. So it really just depends on who you're listening to, and I guess the depth of the content.
More than anything that is practical too,
you.
right?
Huh?
More than anything that is practical. So
Yeah.
I've been on some trainings that I'm lost. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, where do I start? There's so much stuff on the screen.
Yeah.
That we don't all learn like that. Like some of us really need to start basic and be very hands-on. So
yeah, but at the same time, again, if they're charging you to show you how to make a thumbnail, and you're wanting to pay $79 for this course, yeah, you may want to just head over to YouTube and figure it out yourself.
Awesome. Good stuff. So that's in the world of business as far as what we're experiencing and continues to evolve.
Yeah. So this other one comes in from Adapt Digital, this next segment, where ChatGPT is being used by a lot of people for self-help, self-diagnosis, and mental health guidance. How about that? So check this out. A growing number of users are turning to ChatGPT for mental health support, relationship advice, and self-diagnosis. While AI offers anonymity and 24/7 access, experts are concerned about the psychological risks of relying on non-human systems for sensitive issues. Whoa, that's big. With no regulation in sight, this emerging trend opens a complex ethical discussion. So, is it dangerous for people to use AI like ChatGPT as a replacement for therapists or doctors? And what are the limits of AI's emotional intelligence? And should it simulate empathy at all?
Andre, I'm going to let you take this one first because I know you have a lot to say about it.
Well, I'm going to give a secret. I've lost 16 pounds in the last 4 or 5 months, and I can thank most of it to my AI trainer, my personal trainer in AI. And I didn't ask for, I know this one is more about emotional support, so I understand that. But I went to AI and I said, hey, I'm 215 pounds. I want to be 185. You are an expert personal trainer. I have an issue with my knee, so I have to be careful on, hardcore type of exercises. I want to get to 180 or whatever, 185 by January, February, but I need it to be healthy, and I need you to give me a plan. And they gave it to me. And I'm this morning I'm at 198, right? So I'm a little more than halfway to where I want to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
no, for sure. Yeah.
So it has its good things. So if I'm feeling again, I haven't done this part, but if someone's feeling a little blue, Zeke, I'm going to need you to tell me why I shouldn't go to ChatGPT and say, give me a cheer me up.
So, hey, I'll always be championing our human relationships.
Yeah.
So that's my tenet. That's my vision, right? Is that as a technologist, I love technology. I think it has advanced humanity so much and so far, but I love our humanity. And so, yes, could those things, all those like personal trainer, meal plans, workout routines, travel guidance, right? All those things can and are already almost 100% replaced with ChatGPT. So any plan you could think of, like I'm gonna go on vacation, and the first thing I do is, hey, as an expert traveler, I prompt it to tell me, give me a full plan from this time to this time, from this date to this date. Tell me what the weather's like, and it gives you everything even better, more precise than a travel agent would. So those positions, again, remember the bottom line of those administrative and repetitive tasks down here. All those people are gone. Okay, so they're losing business as we speak. But I do believe that it is necessary as humans, for example, men, to hang out with other men that are in your same circle, in your same realm, to encourage you to speak to, because I just don't think it replaces the human element. There is something magical about talking to someone, seeing their facial expressions, hearing the sound of their voice, that you can genuinely feel love. AI cannot replicate love, right? It cannot make you feel love. It can give you words and pretty things, but the physical aspect is always critical, right? So I'm just gonna say it again. I champion the human interaction. Again, for all those things, it's fantastic, but we just have to kind of have a good balance there.
So the big question here was, as far as using AI powered technology to diagnose oneself, also looking in the space of mental health. I think that AI powered technology for that can help give individuals guidance as far as looking out for certain symptoms, but ultimately the practitioners, the physicians, the nurse practitioners, the ones that are actually writing the prescriptions and interacting live with the patients, one, on the first line, they're the ones that are most likely to benefit from these kinds of tools, especially when finding types of diagnoses or looking for references. I think any kind of results that come out have to have references that are academic in nature, approved by organizations, American Heart Association, what's the other one for pediatrics, whatever it may be. Knowledgeable stuff from the academic background, not something from Wikipedia. Which brings me to the point, because you're going on vacation. So are you prompting in Chat GPT or on Google, because is the result sponsored, or is it more of a neutral answer to tell you this is the good place to go, or maybe you should go here because,
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, definitely a combination of both because now Google has their own AI, which is called Gemini, which is actually pretty amazing. But just going back to the topic you were saying, Mike, about the self-diagnosis. So here's a different angle. People after COVID have developed a high sense of distrust towards the medical community. This is a known thing, and this is factual. So what is happening now is that in light of ChatGPT and Gemini and all these other tools, people are now trying to take back control and knowledge of things that affect their health. So you'll start seeing a lot of changes to the way people interact with medical providers and so forth because of that distrust. And so basically, like, people are struggling in the sense that if I go to a doctor, for example, and I say, "Hey, I have a headache," what does the doctor typically tell you?
Go to WebMD.
No, yes, that too. But typically, they're like, "Hey, here's an ibuprofen," and we don't like that. People don't like that because we know that ibuprofen is bad for you in the long term, and just we're tired of just being prescribed pill after pill, one to counter the other diagnosis. This is real stuff. So people are looking to ChatGPT for alternative solutions, right? So instead of just saying, "Hey, take ibuprofen," "Hey, it's because I have a knot in my neck because I've been sitting at my desk all day with my back arched," or "I need to go get a massage," or "I need to work out to strengthen the muscles in my back." So I think that's really where this is starting to close the gap on that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people are going to become more and more distrusting of perceived authorities in certain fields because AI is becoming the authority.
Well, man,
that's scary what you just said. AI is becoming the authority in the medical field. I'm not ready to go see a robot or an AI-powered system to diagnose me necessarily. I want a human being. I would like the AI to at least give me an idea of what it could be, and then by the time you get there, you've already got all this fear of what you self-diagnose yourself with. But at the end of the conversation, the human being, after they do a physical assessment, obviously, and look at your labs, is going to tell you this is probably what it is. And I've seen this situation play out multiple times when I was in healthcare, almost 7 years in the ER, right? Before AI, when it was just WebMD, that patients would come self-diagnose saying, "I've got this, 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 and this." And it wasn't a heart attack. It could have been an anxiety attack. It could have been and chest angina, not necessarily cardiac related. So I still value humanity behind the technology is what I'm trying to say. But
of course,
then again,
yeah,
look at
no,
where we are today.
it's fine. And like you're saying, like it's going to be a partnership. Like, I don't believe that doctors will be replaced, will be removed. I don't think that's a good idea. As much as profit it might bring to companies, right, to do so, but it'll be a partnership. There will be a merger. I posted this, I think, a while back on my LinkedIn about eventually you're going to see software start taking place, AI software in healthcare next to and aiding providers, which will help to reduce their overall provider burnout. That's a big thing. But then you'll see as Tesla bots and all these other types of bots start to get better and better with technology, eventually the software and the robot will merge, and they will help. They will partner with you as an assistant or a co-partner in the medical room.
Yeah, I actually wrote down 4 things, so I'm going to make this quick. I know we're already at 35 minutes. So if you guys remember with lawyers, right, the traditional lawyers background, their office, they used to have all of these case law books and things like that. And then it went from CD and then it went online and things like that. So it's going to be that same concept, because I'm sure back in the days, the doctor had some type of reference book somewhere in the back of the hospital or back of their office where they can
Yes.
reference things, right? Before the internet, right? I'm sure that's how it was, right, Mike? Since you're the oldest.
Yes, thank you. Since I'm the
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of the same concept where they're just now going to use it as a reference, but hopefully now companies will, if it's not already existing, that there will be AI tools specifically for doctors, giving them the exact
Yes.
guardrails where the doctor can say headache and a knot on their shoulder, and now maybe not redefine, but reassure them that whatever the doctor thought is the issue, he's going to be like, okay, yep, this is what I thought. I just needed that second opinion using AI. The second thing I wanted to mention was the largest. Do you guys know the largest data set ChatGPT gets its information from?
Enlighten us.
Reddit.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
So now someone's putting something in Reddit, right? And it's
Oh.
kind of like, oh, if it's on Reddit, it must be true, right?
It must be true.
So
Yes.
now if someone's putting some crazy stuff, because you can just get a free account
Of
on Reddit.
course.
Yeah. So that was another thing there. And then look, also to the point of I was watching a webinar one time, and this lady who used to work for a hospital, now she's doing private practice where she doesn't take insurance. And she said that when she was working for this private hospital, she was saying that they gave her 7 minutes per patient, because of the amount of volume that they had to do. So,
Wow.
people want to be able to sit there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes and have that conversation with the doctor. So I think if customer service or the process for these doctors don't become better, people are going to be like, all right, well, let me go to my ChatGPT and I'm going to tell it that you are an experienced, doctor, and I'm going to now give you all my problems, and yeah, you'll sit there all day with me and give me some solutions.
But ChatGPT does not have those NPI numbers. They don't have privileges to write scripts, especially when it comes to dispensing narcotics. We're not there yet, and I'm going to be honest with you. I hope we are never there yet, because God forbid somebody finds a way to self-medicate with Oxy using an AI-powered system, and CVS pharmacy or Walgreens, Walmart, whatever, is ready to fill that in. I don't know if you've noticed, but some of these pharmacies here even locally, they're overwhelmed. They are just bombarded with phone calls, drive-through, people waiting in line, and scripts to fill. It is extremely tense. And Andre, what you say about provider burnout, it's real. It's not only in nursing, it's also with primary care physicians, because we are growing as a nation. We don't take care of our bodies. We don't always have access to resources, depending on the community too. I know some of our own communities, especially Hispanic and Black African American communities, don't have the same access to healthcare as other communities. And what happens? When we're finally at that point that we're really sick, we go see a doctor. But at that point, you're in line waiting for other people that are really sick, waiting for a doctor. So it's overwhelming. And AI can definitely be that tool that helps to provide more one-on-one face time. I'm just afraid people are going to use the technology to self-medicate, because Florida is one of those locations that we gained that ugly reputation of being a pill mill. This is a place where junkies would come to get treatment and then continue. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think the silver lining there is that eventually, and they're already doing this, is they'll start putting in guardrails on ChatGPT, right? It's not like you can ask ChatGPT to help me build a nuclear bomb and it'll show that. So there are guardrails around that, around health, and so it'll be curated content that you'll receive. But just going back to what you're saying about provider burnout, that is a passion of mine. That is something that really, really, really matters to me, and something that I care to fix in the healthcare space. Because healthy doctors produce healthy patients. Hear that again. healthy doctors produce healthy patients. We cannot be expected to get good treatment, good service if the people that are treating us are burnt out. And the truth is that it's a lot of volume that's going through these clinics, through all these healthcare organizations. And you're right, you only get like 1 minute, 2 minutes to explain something that's been happening for quite some time that has levels and levels of complexity. So the opportunity is AI will help to address provider burnout. How, when, and where, that's for us to define and to start applying AI to help reduce like administrative burden and all those other things and give us more time with our providers.
It's fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, the competition, which is AI, is coming. So all of these businesses need to, be able to
Step up.
step up. Yep. I was going to say tighten their belt, but step up. Yep.
Well, great. Gentlemen, any closing thoughts here?
Learn AI. Stop making excuses. AI Rocketship is bringing training in Espanol. You're out of excuses, okay? Unless you speak ancient Egyptian, you have to take some training. That's all I'm going to say. And you'll see the ads going out shortly. And when it comes to anything technology and medical, you need to get with these guys because they're brilliant. And I'm honored to be presenting with you guys weekly right here on AI Unplugged.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, that wraps up this week's episode of AI Unplugged on this beautiful Friday. Thank you again to Mike from AI Rocketship. And thank you to Reggie with ARK Solvers. And again, my name is Zeke with Nuvotech Consulting. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. And don't forget, we're now streaming on Spotify and all major platforms. So we'll see you next week as we dive into the next wave of AI disruption.
All right.
Thank you, guys.